Welcome to Salento with love, episode 6 of Salve Salento. Sun is shining. We are at the middle or probably the end of February, short month, on the 20th, and it's incredible. We got spring weather here, but then it's always amazing really in Salento. Now, what are we doing in episode 6? Well, a lot of things are happening. We're almost coming to a stage that the property is coming together, but we really would like to focus this episode 6 on the roof terrace, because here in Salento, because of the star-shaped ceilings and different types of ceilings, sometimes or very often your roof terraces have these big humps, which are great to look at. I'm just looking around to see what else is there, but then also they make the roof terrace a little bit awkward and a little bit difficult to use. And we know that with weather like this and beautiful blue skies and summer nights, which you really want to spend the time outside, having a rooftop that becomes usable, it's a must really. So what are we doing here? Well, let me just turn the camera around. First of all, I'd like to show you why we are doing it and what we are doing, and then you will see how the progress. Now, through episode 6, you may not see the finished result because we're just building a structure, but this gives you a fantastic idea of what you can do wherever you are. So, what's happening? Well, first of all, building a structure that covers about 100 square meter property, it's a challenge, and it requires some really specialist works. But also, before you do anything like this, you want to make sure that the base or the floor, the joints are being treated, and at least you know that for the next 10 to 15 years they're not going to be exposed to the elements, to water filtrating through. So yes, building a structure or platform over the top of it allows you to have a surface that you can use, but you still have to do your maintenance before. So here in this particular case, you can see all the joints have been treated with this very special elastic material. All the returns all the way around are also being dealt with. So as you can see, also the stone is being cleaned. So what that means is that for the next 15 years or 10 to 15 years, there's not going to be any infiltration. So yes, even if you're covering it, remember, you still need to do your maintenance before. Now, also one of the advantages of doing this is that anything from water to electrical can run just underneath your platform. So what are they actually doing now? Let's have a look. So I'm here this morning with the Fusaro family. Antonio and Angelo is not here on site, and the staff, and really this is the second time we've built a structure like this, and I'm sure we'll be doing loads more, but just trying to get the attention of one of them. Quindi qui è tutto sospeso, no?
Eh sì.
Questi piedini che però non sono regolabili, sono fissi,
no,
non c'è bisogno, sono fissi,
Sono
no?
fissi, non li puoi fare regolabili.
E il livello te lo sei portato da dove? Dal punto più alto
Questo,
che
questo
quello?
è il punto più alto.
Questo è il punto più alto. So the important thing here was to find the highest point over the entire rooftop. And so once this has been established that this is the highest point over the rooftop, then this is what's going to guide everything. Quindi questo guida proprio tutto quanto.
Tutto quanto, no?
E poi la pedana si poggia qua sopra.
Personati tu.
Careful not to get hot, because yes, it's still hot. Quindi poi la pedana si poggia qua sopra. So let's see what happens. Day 1 of building the structure. And this takes us to the end of episode 6. Where am I walking? Well, I am walking on this massive platform. Now, I just thought it's a great idea to wrap up the video, because between now and when the surface of this platform gets applied, it may be a little bit of time, because other things are going to happen. One of the advantages of building a platform like this is that it saves you from chasing or cutting into the wall, from putting water or waste, electric, so everything can be everything can go underneath the actual decking area, and also you've got enough space to service it. And if you need to, really, it can be dismantled in sections just to allow you to service it. But in a area where roofs were not built to be used, but they were built just as a result of, well, actually they were built to be used because they were actually what was collecting the water and then driving this huge amount of water into cisterns. But then water came and the grid, and so the roofs became a little bit of an abundant space where it used to be kept clean also, because it was important to transport clean water into the cistern. Then they became totally abundant. Then they became an area to iron your washing. And years later, I think they are becoming an area where we can actually enjoy the quality of living. We're our last day of February, 20 degrees today. It's been a wonderful day. And I can just imagine in a few weeks, once this property is almost finished, how incredible it will be for the family and the people and the guests and everybody to come upstairs and having an incredible space to utilize. Now, a few things before I wrap up this video. Some decisions have to be made, and I personally felt that having a rooftop that is totally on one level is a lot better than introducing spaces. If you're going to use your roof to entertain, if you're going to use your roof to turn it into a roof garden, or if you're going to turn your roof into a dining space, well, having those areas that are broken up by steps just makes it a little bit uncomfortable. Also from furnishing, where here really we actually had to decide and determine which one was the highest point in the entire surface, and we identified that, or the technicians identified that as being the highest point. Then from there everything is being put to level. Now you may be also worried and thinking, wow, Davide, you are walking and you're right up in the air, and I'm going to put my hand there, but yes, we are very, very high up in the air. But you know, once the railing gets fitted all the way around, then this is not different from standing on a huge building on the balcony that is made of glass, and you walk right to the edge of the glass looking down maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 stories down. So nothing to be worried about. So once the platform is finished, now that we know exactly the height, we can establish the height as well of the railing that needs to be fitted all the way around. The surface, well, the surface, we'll talk about the surface probably in another episode when we get to actually fit it. In the meantime, I'll say this has been a fantastic week of work getting this platform manufactured. First of all, part of it was manufactured in the warehouse, where all the pieces are actually slotted together just to create the extra strength, and then everything was then cut, joint, welded and fitted on site. So fantastic work here on episode 6 of Salve Salento. We are getting really, really, really close to wrap up the amazing refurbishment of this property that is going to add so much joy. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that this was useful. If you do have a rooftop and you're thinking, oh, it's all full of bumps and humps, or probably the surface is not beautiful, how can I turn it? Well, this is an option. Just make sure that everything is suspended from the ground so water doesn't sit. It comes through underneath, and so it stays dry and free from debris, and the water can just continue to go where it was going before. So hope you've enjoyed episode 6. Episode 7, well, downstairs tiling is completely finished. I saved you and spared you from a whole video on tiling. Well, you know, it's only tiling, but it's coming together. I must say, I'm extremely excited. Doors and windows are going to start getting fitted tomorrow. Decorators are coming in, so we're getting close. Episode 7, we'll see what it brings. In the meantime, all I've got to say is subscribe to the channel, press the bell, and stay safe wherever you are.